Hey everybody, Matt Covert here again from howtobecome-a-racecar-driver.com with another critical concept. This is something that helped me personally last year in particular when I started implementing this concept into my racing program. I'm excited to share it with you, and it's all about mixing traction ratios. And I'm so excited, we're going to just jump right on into it. Alright, a traction ratio. Now let me back up first. I want to talk about why this is important. Mixing traction ratios is going to help you reduce weight transfer. And we talked about weight transfer in a couple different videos, which I will link to up here on the screen. All right. The goal with mixing traction ratios is to reduce weight transfer because, as I have said before, I'm going to write all this out just so you can see it. Less weight transfer equals more grip, and that of course equals a faster car. Anytime that a vehicle changes direction or a driver makes an input through throttle or brake or steering application, it has less potential grip. Alright, so the further you, or the more weight that you transfer around the vehicle, the less grip you're going to have. And reducing that weight transfer is something that you can do, and mixing your traction ratios is going to help you do it. So let's talk about traction ratios just real quick before we hop into this. Your car is only capable of 100% grip. It can't get any better than that. Okay? A traction ratio, let me write some abbreviations for the three driver inputs. Okay, we have throttle, brake, and steering. All right. A traction ratio, theoretically, is saying that we're using 50% of the car's ability to brake, 50% of its grip ability to brake, and 50% of its cornering ability or grip ability to steer. Okay, we are using half the car's ability to brake and half the car's ability to steer. You can do two of these things at a time. You obviously can't accelerate and brake at the same time, but this goes for anything. If you're coming out of a corner and you get back on the throttle and you're starting to unwind the car, then maybe at first you have 30% throttle and you're still steering 70%, and then a little way through the corner, you've got it up to coming out of the corner, unwinding the throttle, so you got a little less steering going, and you're at 60-40, and eventually you're going to, once you get on the backstretch, you're going to get down to 100 and 0% for both of these. All right, these are examples of traction ratios, and this is extremely important to understand. Now we're going to talk about how you can mix them together. All right, it was a long time ago. The old school race car philosophy was that when you're coming down, and this is very old philosophy. I don't think, well, it depends on the car. It doesn't get a lot of use now. It used to be that you would come down under braking into a corner at 100% braking. And then through the corner, you would use 100% steering. Let me write that up there. Braking, steering. And then once you got to the exit, you would switch back to 100% throttle. Just like that. That's the old school method. Okay? And this, like I said, sometimes works better with some vehicles, but it is much faster, usually, to do it a different way. All right, let's talk about, and this is the mixing traction method. You can see obviously in that last example, there's no mixing at all. It's just 100% one way or the other. Mixing traction ratios. All right, it's faster if you trade off one type of input for another. So here we have the braking section, the steering section, and the throttle section. What did I do with TH? Yeah. All right, so let's say that when you're braking, you get up to this point, you're 100% up to here, but then you start to turn in. Rather than letting off the brakes all the way, trade throttle for braking. And these lines don't have anything to do with racing lines. We're just talking about where the driver is inputting into the car. Okay, so rather than stopping braking here, so rather than braking up to here and then immediately going from braking to cornering, you're slowly trading off your braking force for your cornering force. All right, and you're doing the same thing on the way out. Again, you are trading off your cornering force for throttle force. All right, And let's look at that. Let's just unwind this. Let's look at it from kind of a bar graph, like single bar graph type situation. This might help make a little more sense, okay? So let's make a couple lines that do this. And the length of this bar just represents the driver input through a corner. Okay, this again is the braking section, steering, and throttle section. Okay, so you can see that the driver is trading off brake into steering. So right here, the driver is 100% steering, and here, make a little arrow, he's at 100% steering. But right here in the middle, let's say right about here, we'll make a guess, and we'll say that he is 30% brake and 70% steering. Okay? This is called mixing traction ratios, and there's another video coming up about why this is faster, but it's faster to mix these together than it is to do them one at a time. And this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But it's important to get this concept of mixing. And I want you to rewatch this video again before we move on, because this is really important. This is a huge, huge, huge concept to understand. It'll make you faster, I promise. A few other great concepts are built off of this one, so you really need to understand what this is, okay? If you haven't, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's new videos coming all the time, and I'm going to keep continuing on these, and I'll be back with another one shortly.